we feeling so far? How's the we had the first match going?
How about we talk a little bit about how this matchup is going to work out? Warrior, Sage, Lawn, Archer, Musa, Megu. So
I mean, like I said, I feel like that their first target on Bodyslamn side has to be the Archer.
Oh, you mean on SillyFellas side? Yeah, on Season. Definitely, I think it can be the Archer, but
or the Musa.
I think it is actually going to be really hard to run down anyone over on SillyFellas side. I think if anything, you're probably going to want to look at the Musa and try to chip him down if possible.
Yep.
The thing is that the Archer, he definitely has a lot of kite potential and enough stamina to kind of space you out. The Warrior doesn't really have that kind of consistent mobility to keep up with him. You do have charging thrusts, you do have things like Frenzy, Dash, your Solar Flare follow-up, but that's only going to fall with the Archer for so long. I think it's really going to come down to Into to kind of fly around, keep the pressure on him if anything, and Llama Speed using Impaling Flash. DBM's job in this instance, I think it's going to be really a lot of kind of counter support, give a little bit of peel to his team if possible. Look for grabs on the Megu on opportunities where he can, because that Megu, if it is Axelton on an Awakening Megu specifically, it is going to be a lot of engaged potential, and you can definitely catch Llama Speed off guard. That is kind of going to be Axelton's primary job, going for those FG punishes on Awakening.
But he was on Succession yesterday now.
If he is on Succession,
he
definitely is going to have a lot of range CC potential, pressure potential, but I don't know how good that'll do in a matchup with Awakening Sage and
well, the other
Warrior
issue is
you definitely have a lot of SA potential right there.
Yeah, but if he does go Awakening, the problem is like the stam over time versus a Sage, Lawn, and Warrior. That might be really tough versus like having Succession, having the clone swap. The thing is here, if Bodyslamn doesn't find an opportunity to like check C-Zane a little bit, like you said, Into should try and like keep pressure up around the map with Flight. We saw yesterday, whenever C-Zane was able just to sit back in the center and throw out damage, it was deadly. It was not sprinkles of damage. It was a lot. So
I'm going to have to hold you off there, Etsy. I believe we are just about ready to go into the games. Any final predictions?
Predictions. I don't know. I'm going to vote Bodyslammin'.
Bodyslammin', all right. Let's see if Etsu is going to be correct here. I do think that Bodyslammin' has a very good chance and kind of a lot more traditionally strong comp compared to SillyFellas. SillyFellas essentially has one win condition and one win condition only. Get a punish on a grab or win off of HP. And it might be really simple, but it's going to be pretty hard with C-Zane early put on the ground, greeting the FG, and it's instantly going to be the Lawn, the Succession Lawn, actually catching him off guard right there. All E-Buffs popped off from Bodyslammin' side. C-Zane coming out of B, DBM immediately on top of him. He's trying to space away. DBM is going to be looking for the grab where he can. Llama Speed immediately on top. A Impaling Flash trying to go for it behind him. C-Zane on the front guard. He's down to 10%. He tries to go for the shotgun, getting a little bit of front guard where he can, but he's just going to end up dying to Chip. Did they manage to get a CC? It looks like DBM maybe got put on the floor. Down to 30%. He did stand up just in time, though. Llama Speed is also getting chipped out. This is so much chip damage. C-Zane actually might end up surviving the peel. You're going to have the Succession Law sitting on top of them. Now Llama Speed spinning in the middle, trying to survive Axelton's Succession Megu range pressure. Surviving where he can. And we actually have a reset potential. 2 minutes. Timers are reset. We have a V out on Llama Speed and a V out on C-Zane. So mutual even right here. DBM going for the slash, trying to go for a little bit of chip damage on the C-Zane. C-Zane spacing it out. DBM ended up going for the grab. Whips it! And there's E2 on the Sucklon to get the connection! That's what the Sucklon is good for. You can punish these FGs so fast because you have so much access to flight time. If anything in this matchup, the Sucklon is pretty decent into this Archer. Frankly, C-Zane on the Archer, he can't go for these long SA lingers where he wants to. So he has to eventually greed for an FG. It's too much SA chip. And speaking of SA chip, QZad trying to chip down DBM, but getting grabbed is going to be forcing his V out on that Awakening Musa. DBM with a really good connection right there. And it looks like he wants to stick onto this Musa. QZad, this is the thing. After the Musa changes that happened about I want to say maybe 4 weeks ago, it's been a little bit of time, you can no longer regen stamina a lot of your SA skills. So it's going to be a little bit rough for him to keep continuously moving out in this match. And at this point, he's most likely running out of stamina. DBM knows it. It's there for the follow-up grab. He is going to get the final kill. And Axelton in the 1v3. I'm not too sure what else he can do here.
Yeah, you know, things were looking pretty good for SillyFellas at the beginning there. C-Zane was doing a phenomenal job kiting out, and he ended up getting a catch. Honestly, I feel like the one thing I noticed there before everything started going south was, I think, C-Zane coming out of V, he was like on the opposite side of the arena of his team, and DVM saw that and immediately created pressure, and he just took way too much damage before he could rendezvous back to his teammates. So maybe that was like a little bit of a communication there. For why he V'd so far away. Maybe something was going off on the other side for why that decision was made. But I'm not going to count SillyFellas out of the woods just yet. They were playing that first part really strong despite how bad things were looking, and they were even getting some opportunities to bring the fight back. So let's see how they adjust moving into round 2.
Round 2 starting up. Let's see, how can Season pull this back? Righteous Smite.
Dang, that's a lot of
for
damage.
A little bit of chip damage.
20%,
Yeah.
boom.
You know, this is the thing. Archer actually has a lot of damage in these Trial 3 gear, and with 2 more players to follow it up, he can go for a lot of bursts. That is going to be the one strength that this Archer can provide. You can already see DBM chipping out. Just Luthergon's Call alone did about 10% right there. If this Archer ever gets a CC, he might get a free cast like Meteor Dive connection onto DBM. Oh my god, nice timing coming up from Charlie. Forces out the B on the DBM, and now this Warrior cannot play as aggro as he was last round. Into in the middle of 3, trying to go for a little bit of chip, drop the Sal Flurry, spacing it out, coming out of the flight. Cymbidium looking for a little bit of connection where he can, and is going to be popping his debuff right here. Looks like Season got caught in the middle of that neutral though, and there's going to be no V now available on Season, so an even trade along with DBM. Luthergon's! He pushed Llama Speed's grab with it, no, with a tactical strike KD, he was too late, despite an amazing punish. None of his teammates were there, and instead greeting for the shotgun. Season's on the ground. They had one chance to pull this back, and it just in time were not there for the punish. So now 2v3, again, no grabs available. QZad, Axelton, what can they pull out of the hat? Going forward, he tried to go for a little bit of a Sal Flurry catch right there. You can definitely get a float off behind frontal guards if possible, but no frontal guard to be found. Coming back in, into looking for a little bit of connection. It's going to be QZad, down to 10%, forced to be on that Musa. And at this point, I think he's just going to end up dying to chip. You have a Sucklon, you have an Awake Sage, and a Warrior hunting you for that grab at the same time. Evasive Sub trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky punish on the into, but there's no grab, nothing to be found. There's a Sucklon, he's going to be full SA chipping you down, so definitely has to be careful, but not careful enough. DBM, nice solar flare, gets the grab off. It's going to be a 1v3. Axelton once again, Suck Megu, so much survivability, but not enough pressure to provide for his team to win out these rounds.
Yeah, no, like we said, it's really tough. This team does not have a grab. They're pretty much solely focused on being pure damage composition and dumping damage onto one individual. And yep, that second round is going to go to Bodyslamn. Really strong showing from these individuals, but like we said, for this team comp to really work for SillyFellas, they got to take someone out fast, or someone has to be paying pure attention to Charlie getting kited out on the Archer and seeing if he's able to get a punish or a CC last second. We did see there in the previous round he managed to get a punish onto DBM when he went for a grab attempt, but unfortunately no one was there for the follow-up. And I don't blame C-Zane for trying to find the follow-up KD, because that might be your only chance to pick someone
He
off.
didn't get punished on the follow-up KD.
Well, he had to commit,
but
and then
it
then
put
he
him
got
in a bad
chipped out.
spot a little bit. I mean, if they managed to get that CC, it would have put them actually in a really great spot.
Yeah.
And Season potentially would have not died there, but you know that's part of this matchup for SillyFellas. Their comp is just generally harder to play. You have to get punishes on grabs. Essentially, grab equals lose for Bodyslamn inside, since it's the only way they can really get caught, in my opinion. But SillyFellas, they have to be playing so well to get these punishes on the grabs. So well to get punishes on FGs. And Into, if anything, has been the one to play so well so far, but not this time. Axelton with a great Civic connection. Luthergons came in from Season to get the knockback, and then the final KD as well. There's going to be an early V out on Into, and as of now, in this matchup so far, Into, I believe this is the first V that he's had to pop. So far, he's been the main aggressor, and if he gets caught one more time, I actually think that SillyFellas has a really good chance at winning out this game. Obviously, DBM has been getting a lot of grabs off, but that's the thing. If the Archer gets a chance to free cast due to the Sucklon not being in the matchup, then that's just going to make DBM's life so much harder. But the Impaling Flash is going to land the slow in the season. He's forced to be. He didn't even get caught there. The chip damage was just too heavy. And he's coming down with 30% out over on the enemy spawn. Sage still sticking on top of him. Llama Speed doing a great job. DBM, oh my god, the overwhelm connection. He caught him wrong with that thing. That is some fine Warrior gameplay, if I got to say so myself. Into put on the ground. It's going to be a trade, actually. And with Into dead weight, they actually have a decent chance here. 2v2 situation. Axelton will be forced to be out on that Suck Megu, which I'm surprised he ended up getting caught. But now QZad still has a V available, so maybe this can be tied up into a 2-1. Axel doing his best to space away right here. You can see Llama Speed keeping up a lot of pressure. DBM also coming in quick behind him. They're going to get a little bit of midfield. Llama Speed trying to make sure he holds that S-block where he can. You don't want to get caught off guard by this fast engage coming out from the ranged Suck Megu. DBM sitting on top of him. Llama Speed taking a lot of chip over on the side. Sorry, doing a lot of chip over on the Axel on the side, but DBM also getting chipped out by QZad. QZad, really good engage into his backside right there. Axel trying to space away. DBM sitting close behind. He's holding his key block, trying to avoid as much damage as possible using that Warrior 360 SA frontal guard Q block. That was a lot of words right there. Playing flash, trying to get in the middle. He goes for a little bit of a shock relay, connecting into a float. Accent goes for a CC on a DBM. He did manage to get the stiff and QZ! You could have punished it with the KD! No, he was just a little bit too late. Maybe he didn't see it. Below the belt, connecting Eradication over onto DBM, taking a little bit of chip damage. DBM trying to go in, overwhelm straight into the slashing. That was a punishable cap, but no one was there in time, and we're down to 20 seconds. It's going to come down to Chip. Right now, SillyFellas is losing. They have to aggress if they want to potentially win this. DBM is going to be the one to aggress, though. Does he know that they're winning? He doesn't matter! He doesn't care! Great connection. He got the step and the grab to boot it all. DBM showing why he is the GOAT warrior. My man with the great CCs. Holy Bodyslamn and taking it 3-0. Nice stuff.
Yeah, I kind of have goosebumps. That shot calling was like on point. Yo, DVM, by the way, he was on lock. He was like solar flare, boom, get that that raw overwhelm. That was a crazy match. And like we said, while SillyFellas does technically have a chance to win that matchup, they have to play so much more perfectly compared to Bodyslamn in order to take that win. And Bodyslamn just coming in through. They were full gas, no brakes, and they took the win. Why don't we go ahead and check out that bracket update now and see how things are looking like? That is going to be